Bonsoir à tous et bienvenue dans l'épisode 5 d'Hellblade. Et après un épisode où on a traversé le pont de Helheim, et malheureusement on a été repoussé par Ella, et on est tombé à la mer, on a perdu notre épée, et la voix qui représenterait un petit peu la désappréciation du personnage envers elle-même nous a poussé quand même à nous affliger une sacrée torture, et on est un peu à la recherche de 10 lions qui nous guideraient apparemment. Et on s'était arrêté devant la première pierre runique du niveau.
The Northmen tell of a great hero. His name is Sigmund. His father's hall was built around a great tree, and one day, Odin comes and thrusts a sword into the tree, a gift to whomever can release it. Many try, but the sword only comes out at Sigmund's touch. His brother-in-law, King Siggeir, wants it, but Sigmund refuses him, so King Siggeir plots revenge. He invites Sigmund and his brothers to a feast, but when they arrive, they are met with an army, not a warm welcome. King Siggeir captures Sigmund and his brothers, steals his coveted sword, and readies them for execution.
Peut-être une partie sur, en tout cas au niveau du lore nordique, sur l'histoire de Sigmund. Bon, on va quand même un petit peu courir dans ce niveau parce qu'elle se traîne légèrement, hein, de ce qui est. Non, c'est juste une sortie. Okay. Ah, est-ce que c'est une deuxième pierre, ça? Bien l'impression. Oui.
Death for Sigmund and his brothers seems certain. But the king's wife is Sigmund's sister, and she begs for mercy, and implores the king to chain them up instead. He agrees. Not for mercy, though, but because he plans an even more cruel and lingering death. Chained to a tree in the forest that night, a she-wolf comes and devours one of Sigmund's brothers. She returns, ravenous, night after night, until only Sigmund is left. The next day, Sigmund's sister sends a servant. Death for Sigmund and his brothers seems certain.
Excusez-moi,
But the king's wife is Sigmund's
je
sister,
croyais que c'était fini.
and she begs for mercy, and implores the king to chain them up instead. He agrees. Not for mercy, though, but because he plans an even more cruel and lingering death. Chained to a tree in the forest that night, a she-wolf comes and devours one of Sigmund's brothers. She returns, ravenous, night after night, until only Sigmund is left. The next day, Sigmund's sister sends a servant with honey to smear on Sigmund's face. But to what end? Well, that night, when the she-wolf appears again, you'll never guess what happens.
Ah, je dirais que soit un ours est apparu et a chassé la louve, ou alors elle s'est contentée de lécher le miel. Pour l'instant la porte est fermée. Je pense que c'est juste du décor, hein, le drap. Enfin, on doit pas appeler ça un dracard, mais... Je me souviens bien, le vrai nom c'est l'Underskip. Je pense que c'est plus du décor que... quelque chose qu'on peut visiter, il est trop loin dans l'eau. Par contre, ça serait bien qu'elle guérisse parce que... ça me permettrait de remarcher un peu parce que sinon elle est vraiment trop lente. Si je lâche le bouton de course. J'essaie d'être prudent, hein, ne pas louper un visage, une pierre. Comme celle-ci par exemple.
As the she-wolf licks the sweet honey from Sigmund's face, he bites the wolf's tongue. The she-wolf pulls away, but Sigmund holds on. The chains break, and he is free. After his escape, Sigmund lives like us, hidden in the forest. His enemy, King Siggeir, believing him dead, as his sister plots revenge. And for vengeance to succeed, even the great Sigmund needs help. So she sends her sons to him. But their blood is weak and corrupted, and they're put to death by Sigmund. So his sister hatches a new plan, one that is cold of heart and pure of blood.
Ok, tranquille, le mec il juge ses neveux trop faibles, il les tue. Mythologie scandinave. Tout un art de douceur et... c'est des algues. Ouais, j'imagine que c'est des algues.
Day after day, watching from afar, she mimicked him, perfecting her own secret dance, wishing those fleeting moments of light would stretch out to last forever.
Bon, pour rappel, là c'est la rencontre entre Senua et Divion que la voix raconte.
Sigmund's sister trades shapes with a sorceress, and in disguise, she lies with her own brother. She gives birth to a son named Sinfjotli. After a time, she sends him to the forest to Sigmund. He tests the boy and finds him strong and fearless, and so they go to take their vengeance on King Siggeir. But luck is not on their side. They're captured, and Siggeir has them buried alive.
Elle était motivée la sœur. Hein. Mes yeux.
How does he so effortlessly court the world and bliss? If only she could do the same. See the world through eyes anew and dance with it.
La musique est jolie.
Just like he does.
What's your name?
Senua.
I haven't seen you before.
I don't leave home much.
Oh, Zenua's daughter.
I have to go.
Wait. Who taught you to fight like that?
No one.
No one.
Well, I watched you, and
You learnt all of that from watching me? You should become a warrior, you know.
me?
I'm Dillian. I'm here for the warrior trials. Just come and watch. And bring your sword.
You can't put it into words. That moment when you look into the eyes of the one who is supposed to reassure you, make you feel safe. It only takes an instant. Fear swallows you before you have a chance to make sense of it. And darkness becomes a part of who you are. But her world changed the day the Northmen took him from her. Senua knows that there's no going back to how things were. That there's nothing to go back to at all. Stay still, stay quiet, hide, don't tell her.
Their gods can see into your mind. They will use this power to destroy you.
They won't stop me. I can still feel him.
Whatever's left of him, they will never let him go.
I'm not gonna let him rot here.
You're the one rotting here.
Leave me alone.
You will die here.
No.
And all your suffering will have been for nothing.
Shut up! Dillian? Is that you? I'll find you, my love. I promise.
Je pense pas qu'il y ait des pierres là-bas.
Can you see him? You want to believe it. Is he real? Is he there? You're alone in these mountains. Is that Dillian? Nothing lives here. You won't
Ah,
survive.
chut, les voix. On sait pas. C'est peut-être lui.
You met him by a tree. She met him by a tree. Maybe it's a sign of tree. What's he trying to tell you? He's waiting for you by a tree.
Bizarre qu'il n'y ait pas de rune là. Là aussi, il n'y a rien. Il y en a une là. L'avant-dernière.
As Sigmund and Sinfjotli are being buried alive, Sigmund's sister throws an armful of straw into the grave mound. Hidden in the straw is Sigmund's sword, the gift of Odin. They cut their way out of the grave mound and set fire to Siggeir's hall. The king burns to death. Sigmund calls to his sister to come out so that she may live and be honored. She does come out, but only to tell him the truth. That she had slept with him, her brother, to beget a strong avenger. I am not fit to live, she says, and walks back into the fire. Strike vengeance from your heart, Senua, as there is always a heavy price to pay.
Ah ouais, t'es motivée la sœur. C'est une histoire que je connaissais pas, hein, l'histoire de Sigmund, donc je la découvre en même temps que vous. Et ah mais elle était déterminée. Hein. Alors il me manque... Ah bah elle est là-bas. Ok.
And here is the end of Sigmund's story. He was a fierce and great warrior who fought many battles. But one day, an old man came onto the battlefield. Although shadowed by a hood, Sigmund saw that he only had one eye. The man raised his spear, and Sigmund struck at it with his sword, but the sword shattered into pieces.
Oda.
Sigmund then knew that this was Odin, and thus that victory could not be his. He bowed his head and accepted his end. Dying, he tells his wife that she is with child, and that her son will one day make a great weapon out of the fragments of his sword. The sword named Gram.
Est-ce que ça veut dire qu'on va récupérer cette fameuse épée? Parce qu'en général, les légendes, le lore, et à chaque fois en relation avec ce qu'on fait, et comme il nous manque une épée, je me dis que on pourrait peut-être la récupérer. Ce qui serait métal. Ça serait trop cool d'avoir l'épée légendaire. Bah ça y est, t'es plus blessé? Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça?
What's happening?
Senua, imagine a sword that can slay gods. Its name is Gram. It was forged by the god of all Northmen,
Ce que je disais.
Odin, and gifted to Sigmund, a great warrior.
I need this sword. It's important. Can you help me?
The sword appears whole, but it is an illusion. It shattered into shards long ago. It is said a great warrior can reforge Gram by answering the trials of Odin, one for each shard. The roots of the Tree of Death will take you to new lands, where you will face the trials.
Go to the shards. Go to the shard.
Go to the shard.
What's the shard?
D'accord,
Find it.
ça sert à ça.
It's the metal runestones.
Bon bah on va faire des épreuves.
Find it. There it is. Focus. It's the shard. Focus. Focus. Use your eyes. Look.
Get closer.
What can you see? Go to
A king in the north forced the dwarves to make a sword that would never fail and never rust, and that would slice through iron and stone and bring victory to its bearer. But the angry dwarves cursed it. It would be the death of a man every time it was drawn, and it would be the death of the king Let me tell you about the sword Tyrving.
I don't recognize this place. Where are we? Where is she?
It feels wrong. Where are we now? Burial mound. So strange that we go to such lengths to bury death. Something so very ordinary, inevitable. It's as if we conspire to hide death, because we have no answer for it. But when it comes, and forces itself onto our friends or loved ones, then comes the reckoning.
Et on s'arrête là pour cet épisode, puisqu'on est passé dans un nouveau niveau, en tout cas je suppose. Et puis on aura avancé, on aura retrouvé un objectif qui va être de récupérer cette épée. On aura entendu une histoire plutôt cool de meurtre et de consanguinité, hein. C'est Game of Thrones ça avant l'heure. Et voilà, donc j'espère que cet épisode vous a plu et on se retrouve très vite dans un prochain.